What's up viewers, Eric from Bsonic. Today we have here a 2018 Lexus IS without navigation. We're going to be installing the Apple CarPlay Android Auto Kit for this vehicle. It's going to be a plug and play installation. You're just going to have to take apart some panels and so forth and route the wires in a special way. And this same kit is also compatible with 2014 to all the way to 2019 Lexus IS without navigation. Also other select non-nav Lexus model as well. Well, let's not waste any time and get started. The installation process is very similar to the other Lexus IS with navigation that we covered in our other video. The only difference is the connectors are going to look a little bit different that we're going to connect behind the radio. And that's just about it. Everything on how to take off the panels and so forth, it's all going to be exactly the same. So first we're going to remove these two panels over here. I'm going to start off with the driver's side and then I'll work on the passenger side. Just using a panel removal tool like this. So once we take those side panels off, we're going to remove some Phillips screws, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. Okay, and make sure you put this aside where you could easily locate it later. And then let's go ahead and pull this panel off. Okay, same for driver's side. Alright, now go ahead and let's remove the shift knob. Okay, and then go ahead and push down the shift lock lever. You could feel it by sticking your finger under this area. It should be right under this shift lock release. And while pressing down, just go ahead and move this back down. But before you do this, make sure your e-brake is on, because if you're on an incline, your car will roll. Alright, and then now just go ahead and raise your armrest. And we're going to remove some panels. These are all just being held by clips. And then don't forget, there's also one Phillips screw that you need to remove on this side. It's just, if you look down here, you'll see it. It's where the shift R, the reverse, is around. Okay, and just put your Phillips screw down there and remove that screw. Alright, so once you remove that, we can go ahead and remove the rest of this panel. Okay, once you have this removed, go ahead and just disconnect all the connectors. Okay, so next we're going to remove these 10mm bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can either use your socket wrench or deep socket wrench or with an extension, or if you have a power tool like this, it could also come in handy as well. Alright, and once we have those removed, go ahead and place a thick blanket right here. We're going to pull out the radio just like that, and then we're going to go ahead and set it aside here for now. In the meantime, let's go ahead and also remove the climate control, put it out of the way so it gives us more room to work with. So next we're going to go ahead and remove this panel here to get behind the top screen. So just using a panel removal tool like this, let's go ahead and move this piece up. And then once you remove that panel piece, you'll notice that there's going to be 2 10mm bolts. So let's go ahead and remove those 2. Okay, once those are removed, go ahead and lay some microfiber towel right here, and then let's go ahead and move it forward. Alright, and then this exposes the 2 connectors that we're going to be using to install our kit. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and drop the glove box. Alright, to drop the glove box, we're going to first remove this panel here, and then place the panel removal tool and just go ahead and just pry it down. Just being held by clips. Okay. And go ahead and just remove the footwell light. Alright, so once we have that out, let's go ahead and remove this using a panel removal tool. Okay. And once you open it up like this, you'll notice that there's 2 10mm bolts here that we're going to remove. And then it's going to be one more down here as well. And these are the bolts that's holding this airbag assembly. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that. Alright, once that is out, let's go ahead and drop the airbag assembly. Let's go ahead and hold it down here and just push it downwards. Alright, and once this piece is out, go ahead and lay some towels, especially on this corner over here, because it could possibly scratch your door. And next, we are going to remove some Phillips screws. This is 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. And after that, close your glove box, and then it's ready to be dropped. Just go ahead and grab it and just pull it towards you. And there's going to be some connectors that you need to disconnect. Alright, so once we got all the panels apart and we got behind all the areas that we need to access, let's start off by connecting the connectors behind the radio. So the two connectors that we're going to be working on are these two on the top, this one and this one. So let's go ahead and disconnect it. Okay, just make sure you always push down on this clip. Never pull on the wire itself because you can dislodge the wires and that'll be very bad. And then grab our harness and you'll find that there's matching connectors. Okay, one side will go to our harness and the other side of our harness will connect to the radio. Okay, go ahead and do that for both. Alright, and once you do that, there's going to be a lot of wires that are connected to it. So let's go ahead and let's route this all the way to this glove compartment area. While you're going, just make sure you don't tangle them up on the way. Okay, so just work one harness and wire at a time. Okay, so we got all the wires out on this side. Now let's go ahead and route this wire, this connector here, which is gonna connect to the top monitor. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna go straight up this way and go up. Okay, and it helps if you actually remove these connectors from the top monitor so that it gives you a little bit more room to work with. We're gonna go straight up and use your other hand to catch. It's a bit tight, so you're gonna have to do some wiggling around. Okay, next let's go ahead and route these cables. So this is also going to connect to the monitor. We're gonna use the same route as that white connector. Alright, so we got all the connectors up here. Let's start off by connecting the blue one. So our female goes to the male like this, and then the other side will go to the monitor. And then grab your white connector, which will connect to their black connector like that, and then this will go to the monitor. So these two connectors are gonna go back onto the monitor. So here's our monitor. This is how it looks, and these two connectors over here. Goes in like this and like that. And we are going to carefully place it back. Okay, now that all these wires are down here, we did our wire routing. Let's go ahead and do our connections. So you'll notice that there's another RCA cable over here. And for your kit, you might or might not have this. But regardless, if you do, go ahead and ignore this. And then go ahead and connect the red and the white. This is our aux sound. And then on the other end, we are going to connect that to this side of this CarPlay Android Auto box. This is the plastic box. And I already connected it, but go ahead and connect the HDMI on the other side as well. And then let's also go ahead and grab the power supply for our CarPlay Android Auto box. Just this, it's coming from the top screen, and we're going to connect it right next to the HDMI cable. Alright. Okay, let me just take a quick step back. the aux cable is actually going to connect to the HDMI side, not the USB side, okay? It's the aux cable is with the two wires like this. It's gonna go into the HDMI side. And the other side over here, this is the mic. It's just gonna be one wire like this. The tip might look a little different. And this mic cable is going to connect to the USB side. Okay, and then all the connections for this CarPlay box is complete. Now let me go ahead and do the connection for interface with the metal box. So we went ahead and configured our dip switch already. It's gonna be pre-configured for you guys, so don't worry about it. So let me start off by connecting the GVIF video cables. Alright, so the cable that's labeled out is going to be connected to the inside, and the cable that's labeled in is going to connect to the outside. And then, as you can see over here, there's an HDMI cable here. So go ahead and connect this like that. And then we have just the main harness coming from the radio side that we just need to connect. Just like this. Alright. Okay, and then before we put everything back together, make sure you test it, turn it on, make sure everything is working. I'm gonna put this radio back in, connect this controller. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and just test our CarPlay side. We connected our USB to Lightning cable. We're gonna connect this to our iPhone here. Okay, you're gonna get a notification. Go ahead and allow it. Okay, all you have to do is long press the menu button after you select aux. Okay, this is a good sign. Alright, sounds working. Hey Siri, what's the weather right now?
It appears to be clear right now in Fullerton with a temperature of
cool, perfect. Degrees. Looks like everything is working. One other thing you need to do is configure your phone. So by now, I'm sure all of you guys are in iOS 13. So go to settings and then go to accessibility and then go to touch. And if you go to your call audio routing, make sure it's at Bluetooth headset. It should be at automatic from default. So this will push all your phone calls to using the factory Bluetooth system so that you'll be able to have the consistent call audio quality and call mic quality than what you're used to with your factory system. Okay, another thing that we need to do is we need to configure this box over here. So go ahead and go to the USB side. And on the USB side, you'll see this little opening here. And on this little opening, there's actually two switches, two buttons that you could press. Go to the one that's closest to your 3.5 millimeter. I'm using a little pick over here, and just use a little paper clip if you like. And then long press it for 3 seconds. And then once you do that, you'll notice that this is the settings for all the volume. This one, it looks like we already configured it to everything to be 56, but if your number is not all on the 56 side, as you can see over here, then make sure you go ahead and change it to 56. Okay, now that we configured everything, let's go ahead and clean up the wires a bit, mount these interfaces, and reverse order installation. That's going to conclude our install. So let me clean up the wires, and then I'm going to show you where we ended up mounting the devices. There's an extra filter that I'm going to be using for this car. For some vehicles, there's a bit of ground loop noise that's very difficult to get rid of. This is one of those vehicles, so I do recommend you also purchase this. It's like a little under $10. You can get it directly from Amazon, and I'll leave the link with you on the home page and also below in the description of the video. So for this vehicle, there's actually an open slot over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and place this inside that open slot. So I disconnected my HDMI cable so I could route it through the back of this. Now I use some double-sided tape, and I'm going to just tape it right here, just like that. Okay, and then for this CarPlay device, I'm gonna just go ahead and just double-sided tape it on this side of their filter box over here. Alright, so everything's mounted in there. The last thing I want to do is connect the USB cable on here. We're going to route it to the glove box. Okay, so just go ahead and pop these open. And then go ahead and route this from this side over here. And pull it as needed to give you enough slack. And then just go ahead and push this back in right here. So by installing it this way, you do not have to drill any holes. And if you ever need to replace your USB cable, you can do so very easily. And before it goes back, do not forget to connect these two connectors back as well. Alright guys, we finished installing this kit for this non-nav Lexus IS model. We're going to be doing a separate video for the demonstration, so stay tuned on that. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on that video. Thanks guys.